All right, it's showtime. It's Wednesday, April, what is it, 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and we are live here in Asheville. If you are just joining, put in the comments where you're joining from, what part of the country, state, town, neighborhood, whatever you want. Put in the comments where you're joining from. It's always great to connect. And put your questions, comments in the comment section. I always want to make these lives more interactive and about you, about what concerns you have, what questions you have, comments you have, and try to answer as many questions as I can. And so today is a lovely Wednesday day in Asheville. It was kind of cold. Well, compared to Monday and Tuesday that we had, it was like 85 degrees and I was sweating. And today it was, I don't even know, like 50 degrees. I want to say it was cold. But that's just the weather in Asheville in April and some March. It's going to be up and down. It's just going to be all over the place. Some people hate spring in Asheville because of that. It can be 28 degrees at night and then 75 degrees in the afternoon that day. So, but I love it. Everything is blooming. Everything is beautiful. And today, as promised, I wanted to talk about job market in the Asheville area. I did have an older video about what kind of jobs are available in the Asheville area. That was a few years ago. I can remember. Yeah. But there was an article that just came out. I'm going to put it right here for everyone to see that talks about and it talks about Asheville being top city to start a new career. And that kind of brought my attention because everyone was literally horse laughing at this article. It was shared and reshared online on all the social media platforms, and everyone who lives in Asheville and been here for a second, they were like, "What? Who came up with this? How, tell me more." I had no idea, right? It was a big shock for a local community, and I was like, I think I'm due for another update about the job market in the area because surely a few years later, more things happened and there might be some changes. In fact, I know there are some changes. There's a big manufacturing plant. I guess it's a plant came to town like within the past a year or two, I want to say. And there's probably more stuff that's happening. But as you know, I'm not an expert in jobs. I'm a local realtor. I know just enough, about this, that, and the other, and jobs in particular, just to kind of guide people and be a resource, which is why today I am bringing a resource. It's Christy K, and she is a business development guru with Express Employment Professionals. Christy, did I get that right?
You did. Yes, ma'am.
Good. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate your time and expertise and opinion on the local job market, on what's going on when it comes to, job opportunities in the area. Correct me if I'm wrong. Everyone knows that Asheville is a great place to live, right? It's a lot of people moving in here. In fact, there was another article that just came out today, I think, that said that Asheville was voted top whatever towns where people are moving in, but not people are not moving out. So everyone knows that. Everyone wants to move to Asheville. As soon as they find out about Asheville, they want to move to Asheville for many different reasons. But those reasons do not typically include jobs. That was news to me. But nevertheless, there are jobs in Asheville. It's not like a town that doesn't have any jobs, right? So if you don't mind guiding us and kind of tell us a little bit more about, okay, what is the situation here in the area with the job market? Is it a top destination for career changes and career shifts and career growths? What do you think? what do we have here? What is the situation?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first and foremost, thank you for letting me be on here. And please forgive me. I have a 4-month-old puppy. And so if you hear him in the background,
Oh,
um,
it's okay.
we just
What
got
kind of
recently.
puppy?
He's a golden doodle. He's a black golden doodle, which is kind
Oh,
of fun. But we are in the process of training, and he seems to be super excited about whatever is outside right now. But yes, like you said, I'm with Express Employment Professionals. I'll go ahead and put that in there. I've been with Express for 8 years, and we are a local family-owned staffing agency. And I always put yes and, because a lot of people will say, so you do temps, but we do everything from temporary projects all the way up to CEO, CFO, headhunting placements, and anything in between. So our take on what's kind of happening in Asheville right now, and our perspective and what we're seeing with staffing and the job market. That's what I do every single day. And the article that came out was super exciting. From my perspective, I think it's great for Asheville to be able to have conversations about individuals moving into the area for careers. But I am also such a researcher, and I went back to the actual survey that the article was based off on, from Career Minds. And the article, it's a magic wand. Based off of what I read, it seems that they gave 3,000 people multiple choices and said, if you were happening to change your career and if you moved in order to be able to change your career, where would you pick? And most of those people ended up picking Asheville, which rightly so, it's an amazing place to be able to live.
right.
With that being said, we do have jobs. The job market is a challenge, but at the same time, we've got multiple businesses that are moving into the area, nationally and internationally. We've got a French company that just moved into the area. As you said, we have a major manufacturing plant, Pratt & Whitney, that just moved into the area. So we are seeing a change within our community. And the individuals that are moving here, there is a chance to be able to find a job.
Okay.
Our unemployment is low. Do you know where our unemployment rate is right now?
I have no idea. You mean specifically in Asheville or across the country?
Well, you can do specifically in Buncombe County, and we are, I think the last time I checked was 2.96%. Standard typically, and this surprises many people, but most government entities say that if we are under 5% unemployed, that means that we are at full employment, or what's considered overemployment. And that is an interesting terminology, particularly in this area, to say that the individuals that are capable of being able to work are working. And that's super fascinating to me.
So where do these people, where are all these able and capable and willing individuals are working in Asheville? I'm sure a lot of people are wondering that. Also, just a quick thing, if you just join in, put in the comments where you're joining from, state, country, part of town, doesn't matter. And put your comments and questions for this topic or for anything else in the comments as well. All right, sorry.
No, you're good. So I guess your question is, where are the people working?
Right. So what are the biggest? Let's start with the biggest, I guess, employers. What are the biggest chances? Where do people have biggest chances to find a job?
Which is a great question. And right now, in Western North Carolina, we have 3 major occupations that individuals are taking. Anything that is with the government or education, anything that has to do with medical, so our hospital systems, doctors' offices, And then last is tourism. So restaurants, hotels, those are our three largest employers right now in Western North Carolina.
Okay.
But with that being said, there are multiple places to be able to work, everything from small business to quite a few of the larger manufacturing plants that are within the area. A statistic that Land of the Sky just came out with recently said that over almost 67% of the businesses in Western North Carolina have less than 10 people in them. So as a region, we have more small businesses per capita than most of the rest of the nation. And that impacts our job market, as well as our pay rate, as well as our benefits, because you have quite a few small businesses that don't necessarily have all of that. But that kind of answers that question of where the largest employers. It's going to be government and education, hospitals, and then hospitality tourism.
Okay. So government, that would be like a VA hospital is one of them. Or is that a
VA,
different category?
Mission, Advent, and I don't know if you just saw Advent is now opening up a hospital in Weaverville.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Awesome.
there are quite a few different medical facilities. There are conglomerates that are coming into town and buying up practices. You have what's called DAG, Dentist Association group is, yeah, that's what it's called, Dentist Association group. You've got Novant that's coming into town. You've got Hopscotch that's coming into town. All of these entities are buying up quite a few of the medical practices and providing better benefits, greater opportunity with pay rates. And along with that, they're bringing in quite a few jobs.
Okay. Awesome. Well, that's good to hear. What is the pay rate here do you have that information compared to other places? Asheville, it's not a secret. Asheville, the cost of living is high, and it's not just because of housing, right? Very expensive homes, a lot more expensive. Your money's not gonna go as far here as in like even Charlotte or Raleigh, anywhere really. But also because we don't have a lot of high-paying jobs.
Like I said before, with almost 67% of the businesses being small business, that has really impacted the pay rates here in town. But I want to say that I am so proud of our businesses, especially our small businesses within the last couple of years, increasing their pay rates. I know that pay has been a real big source of contention. And nationally, yes, you're 100% correct. We tend to pay much lower. I would say more with what I call our C-suites. That's going to be like presidents, CEOs, CFOs, HR, accounting. They usually get probably about 10 to 15% less, if not more, than what they would get in places like Charlotte or Atlanta, Denver, LA. And it is kind of wild. But like I said, with what I'm seeing currently is our small businesses are recognizing this, and they have really pushed it to the limit. I know that it's not where it needs to be nationally. I know it's not comparable, and it is still a big conversation within our community of pay rates. But it takes a lot for a business to go from paying $40,000 a year to $60,000 to $65,000 a year for some of these positions. And to do that within 1 to 2 year time period. And most of that jump has happened since COVID.
And you think it's because it was harder enough to keep employees at work? They need to be like a little more or more incentives to keep people working. I know, a lot of restaurants in the area had, and still are some struggling with high turnover, and so
yeah, Well, we touched briefly on the unemployment rate here in Western North Carolina, but they also have another number, which is called an eligible workforce. So you have your unemployment rate, which is a group of individuals that are currently not working. And then we have what's called our eligibility workforce. And those are people that are out there, they're either currently working or wanting to be able to work. And those are the ones that you're touching on. And that number, so if you look at our population in the 5 main counties that are close to here, which is going to be Madison, Transylvania, Buncombe, Henderson, and Haywood, yes. We have 500,000 people that are living in this area. But currently, we only have about a half of that are actually workforce capable. Now, that doesn't mean that the other people take into consideration population. That's including children, that's including retirees. So it is definitely a variable. But when you have all of these individuals during COVID, many of them said, you know what, either I want to start my own business, which takes them out of that workforce participation, or we saw the highest uptake of one-income households since probably the 50s. And one of the biggest reasons for that is people figured out, I'm not paying for daycare, I'm not paying for travel, I'm not paying for my lunches. It's cheaper for me to stay home and take care of my household and have one individual be able to work. And we're having quite a few people that are having to also take care of their elderly parents. So we have this workforce participation, but it has dramatically dropped since COVID.
Okay. And what are some of the examples of obviously, of those 3 biggest categories that are biggest employers? Obviously, medical, that would be hospitals and all the doctors' offices, which we have a lot of, and we're gonna, like you said, getting ready to have another hospital north of Asheville, which is great. We don't really have anything north of Asheville. You have to go, south of Asheville. Mission Hospital is just south of downtown Asheville, and 2 other hospitals, big hospitals, Fletcher and Hendersonville. So nothing was there in the northern part. So that's great. But what about like tourism and hospitality? Obviously, with that big little thing behind your back.
Yeah, I took this picture.
Biltmore Estate.
Yes.
And then the restaurants.
Correct. Anything that's hotels, restaurants, Blue Ridge Parkway, a lot of the breweries, South Slope, like there are quite a few different industries that are here locally that have really pushed the tourism. People are still coming into town. I've looked at the statistics for the airport. And they are having record numbers year over year, month over month, of individuals that are coming to the area to be able to explore. So yes, we are definitely seeing quite a few jobs that are capable and open to different individuals that may be looking.
Okay. And another category was education, right? Was that the one?
Correct. Education and government. It's technically
like universities and colleges.
Universities, colleges, high schools, middle schools, elementary schools, private schools, and then any government entity. So the education and the government are actually cohesively together. So fire departments, police departments, courthouses, any of those entities that have to deal with the government and or education. But as you stated, with Pratt & Whitney coming into town, and we've had quite a few changes. Many people know that ℂ𝕠𝕟𝕟𝕼 ended up moving out of the area. Moog Music ended up getting bought and moving out of the area. Say that again?
Can you give more details? What are those companies?
So ℂ𝕠𝕟𝕼 was a distribution company for different products that you would purchase online or on what is it, HGTV, the TV, the Cells TV station. I
Hmm.
apologize, I'm not familiar with that, but it had like the different makeup lines and
Hmm.
um,
So
shampoos and conditioners.
they moved out.
They did. They've been here for years and years and ended up moving to, I think, Wisconsin. I could be wrong on that.
Okay.
So we now have a building that some type of manufacturing entity should or would be looking to be able to fill, and that is off Brevard Road.
Okay.
The other one that I listed was
Okay.
Moog Music. Moog had I don't know if you've ever watched The Big Bang Theory, but there's a musical instrument that's on there, and Bob Moog and the Moog Museum that's downtown, they had their manufacturing plant downtown, and they ended up getting purchased. And I think they moved to Louisiana.
Oh.
Um,
Oh.
and so with that, there is some movement that's happening within our community of
Hmm.
individuals being able to find jobs, because at the same time, like I talked about, we have Tegios, which is a French RFID company that's moving into town. We have Intel, which is a plastics company that's moving into town. There are industries that are booming and growing and being built. We talked about Pratt and Whitney. I've been doing this for 8 years, and surprisingly enough, on average, every single week, I walk into or come across at least 5 brand new businesses that I have never stepped foot in.
Oh.
And to give you a little bit of perspective, I knock on anywhere between 75 and 110 different business doors on a weekly basis.
Hmm.
And that's just a part of my job. And so we are growing. We are having these businesses come into town. Some of them are small and family owned, and some of them are large and will employ quite a few people here in the area.
Hmm. Hmm. How many people are employed by Pratt and Whitney? Do you know? I
I don't know that
like
statistic.
800 people or something like that. Yeah,
I
I heard there
really
was a
don't.
lot. And the AB Tech. Yeah. Yeah.
I know that
All
they're
right.
working closely with AB Tech and having
Hmm.
individuals go through those programs in order to be able to hire them, but I'm just not sure how many people they have working there right now.
Yeah.
I know that they've got quite a few.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That was big news when they bought that land and start building their plant. That was like big thing for Asheville.
Oh, yeah. It's
Okay.
incredible. And even up and behind the ℍ𝕀𝕊, where the AB Tech campus
Hmm.
is, the ℍ𝕀𝕊 AB Tech, there are businesses that are going up there. I know Hawken, which is an elevator company, has just come into town, and they've got people that are there. So people keep saying, where are the jobs? The jobs are coming, the jobs are out there, and we as Express are even filling these positions on a daily basis.
Okay. So you help with that?
Oh yes, we have partnerships with many of the businesses, and the good thing is we're able to be consultants with these businesses. You know, we're talking about salaries and pay rates, and we're able to kind of bring in a perspective nationally of what's happening. But
Hmm.
even with that, you know, you and I talked about just briefly of how the C-suite positions, and forgive me, I talk with my hands, so if they disappear in my picture, but we talk about those C-suite positions and how on average they do pay less. What's really been blowing my mind is on average, the entry level manufacturing positions actually pay more. When we have people that are coming into town trying to do business, it's so surprising to them that we tend to pay more for those positions than Charlotte, than Greenville, than Chattanooga, Knoxville, Tennessee, some places in and around Atlanta. Asheville is really pushing the limit in those particular types of positions.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, that's interesting. Yeah. What other new things, new happenings? Well, what are anything else you want to mention that happening, maybe changing direction in the area in terms of jobs?
Oh
Or
gosh.
you covered that?
No, I mean, I can talk all day about the businesses that are prospected. I know that there was talk about Tesla coming into town, but I think that they ended up backing out. I'm not 100%
Oh,
sure
really?
about that.
Mm.
There was talk about them buying a place off of Sweeten Creek.
Yep.
Um,
Right next to
but
me. Like, well,
I'm
2
not
minutes.
100% sure if that is going to happen. But where the old Continental Tebby was down off of Airport Road, they ended up dividing that facility up and have about 6 different businesses that are coming into that particular manufacturing plant. You've got D&B Audio that's moving into there. You've got TVS, which has a location out in Brevard. And they're having both a location out there and a location here in Asheville. Or, well, technically the Mills River area. You know, Gaia Herbs has a location out in Brevard, and now they're opening a location here, or they opened a location in Mills River. So what I see, or what I tend to see, is that when individuals, and I think this is where there's a disconnect in technology, when you go online to apply for a job and you're not 100% sure what the name of the job is or what they are, some people will get super cautious. We want to be able to apply to the GE Aviations and the Pratt and Whitneys and the larger businesses that people know. And those smaller entities, we get a little nervous about, is that a real company? Are they really going to pay me money? And that's some of the experience that I see with associates that we'll talk to. They're like, wait, who is this company? Why are they here? Why are they looking? I've never heard of this business.
Okay.
I think it's a lot of education, that we're a big city with a lot of little businesses that are in the area.
Right. Well, a lot of businesses for the size of our town area, right?
Oh, yes.
That a lot of people don't realize we have. That's interesting. Yeah, makes sense. We had a question. Somebody, when I posted about this live, I posted on my channel. If anybody has any questions, and somebody asked, what jobs in Asheville are attracting people to the area? Is there manufacturing/plant work around here, which you already answered about manufacturing? But I also want, like, from my experience, because 90% of my clients, my buyers, which I think that's true for most realtors in the area, they are from out of state. They're not from even North Carolina. I don't even know if I have anybody from North Carolina. Now that I'm thinking, I can't remember. But anyways, they're from other states. And a lot of people from my past clients are either retired and they don't necessarily have to work, or they bring in their own jobs here. They're not coming to get a job here, or they're not relocated for a job necessarily. They work from home, and as long as they have internet, they can work from anywhere. But that's my perspective. That's what I'm seeing on my end of people. What's attracting people? It hasn't been the jobs really.
No, it's not. I try to walk the fence, Elena, so you have to forgive me. Yes, you are correct. I am seeing, digital nomads. We have what we're calling a gig economy. Are you familiar with that terminology? So a gig economy, many people, particularly younger individuals, are looking to be able to do gigs, kind of like Uber, or something to that effect, where they can pick when they want to work, and then they do that gig, and then they're done working and they just get paid. But like digital nomad, I'm sorry?
Like a side hustle type of occupation almost.
Correct. Side hustle. Absolutely. So yes, I mean, we are seeing such a massive uptick of individuals that are bringing their own jobs into the area. And I am blown away by the amount of people that will call us and ask for remote positions. And yes, that was super high during COVID, but nationally, and even talking to other express offices, a lot of what we're experiencing now is businesses are saying that fully remote is not working. What we're experiencing or what we're seeing is some form of hybrid where they're asking their people to be able to come in a couple of days a week. But as you stated, people that are moving into this area are either bringing their jobs with them, they are creating their own personal job and own business, or they're retired. So yes, we see quite a few of those individuals as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's probably, a lot more people who are, you know, coming and are finding or looking for a job here in the area. It's just maybe not the people who are necessarily jumping into home ownership right away when they move, especially if they have to get, like a job in hospitality or tourism industry that doesn't really might not pay as much to buy a house here, especially the first year. So that's why I don't see this type of people as my clients, because I mean it can be a discrepancy, cost of house and how much you get paid, especially at this type of jobs. Um, yeah, so it just depends on
Well,
who you right.
oh yes. And luckily that's why we have Just Economics helping with the living wage cost. And I know that
Hmm.
has been a big conversation. Right now our living wage in Asheville is $22.10. And that's in Buncombe County. Now, the living wage outside of the city limits, I think, is in the rural towns is $16.40. That's considered living wage at this point in the game. Hey, don't kill the messenger. Don't kill the messenger. But that's what the statement is, based off of housing, and those numbers are 100% based off of the housing market currently in Western North Carolina.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean that makes sense, but still, it's wow.
I can't necessarily say that I would
Imagine.
be able to survive on $16.40 an hour, but
Yeah, you would need to have several gig jobs,
well,
which
I
a
said
lot of
I
people
said
a
that's
lot
why
of
I ended
people
up
have.
getting married, to have a double income.
Right, yeah, join the forces. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Um, thank you, Christy. That was very good information. Anything else you want to add to, to this, to like the job landscape of the Asheville area?
Absolutely. I do. If anybody is super curious about what's happening in Western North Carolina with the job market, I really encourage you to contact Land of Sky. Land of Sky is an organization that's here in Western North Carolina that works with all 5 of the local counties. And they have so many statistics. They just came out with the Insight portfolio. I think it's like 50 or 80 pages. I'm exaggerating, but it's all about the workforce. It's all about what's happening in our community. And the Asheville Chamber of Commerce, I don't know if you've ever used River Bird Research, but that organization out of the Chamber of Commerce has so much information on crime, job market, cost of living. It kind of blew my mind. I did a cost comparison. It costs more for our utilities in Western North Carolina than it does in most other places in the United States, except for Fairbanks, Alaska. I compared us to like Los Angeles, Atlanta, Charlotte, and our utilities were much, much higher. So that one kind of blew my mind. But those 2 resources are something that I hold dear and true to be able to learn what's happening in and around Western North Carolina when it comes to the job market. And I am always going to do a shameless plug. Express is an amazing organization. I am so lucky to be able to work with Meredith Campbell and Gary Gallagher and Diane Gallagher to be able to help keep our community employed. And if there's one thing that I've learned over the last 8 years is if you want a job, we want to help you find the job that you want. And one of the best things that I can say is don't let what I call roadblocks hinder you in being able to find a job. Whether it's you wanting to try to make a certain amount of money, there are businesses in Asheville that want to be able to do that. Or if it's an issue with childcare or an issue with transportation or an issue with finding something that matches what you got a degree in, reach out to different people, reach out to the Chamber of Commerce, reach out to Express. There's a really tight community that wants to be able to help you find the job that you're looking for.
Awesome. And I'm gonna just let me add this. I was just working on this. Let's see, present. This is what the website. Oh, hold on. This is the website.
Yes, that is our website.
This is Christy's website. This is where she works. Reach out to them if you need help, figuring out what is it that you can do, where to find a job. Like she said, a lot of people just hear big names like Pratt and Whitney and some other ones, and don't realize that we have a ton of. Apparently, I did not know. I had no idea. I mean, apparently a lot of other job opportunities in the area, a lot of other businesses, small businesses. So do not miss your opportunity. Reach out, and they will, they're one of the top agencies in the area, obviously very knowledgeable, very experienced. They've been here for a long time. They know the market in and out. Reach out to Christy. You got the website. I'm going to put the link to the website in the description after we end this video. If you have any other questions, put them in the comments. If you are even watching on the replay, put your questions in the comments, and I will be sure to answer them. I will ask Christy to help me answer them. If you have any kind of questions about relocating to the area, cost of living, where to live, different areas, neighborhoods. That's what my team and I do all day, every day. We help people relocate and find the perfect place that they can call home here in the mountains of Western North Carolina. Our contact information is down in the description. Reach out if you need any help. Christy, I appreciate you so much, your expertise and your opinion and your knowledge and your professionalism. It's been great to talk to you. Like I said, I had no idea some of these changes happened, and we had all those things come in. I mean, some few businesses left, but sounds like a lot more coming in. So that's great. We all need that for a more thriving community here in the mountains.
Absolutely. And thank you again for just having the opportunity to be able to come on and talk about the job market in Asheville. It blows me away what people do every day in our community. It is so much fun to see what our community produces.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, it's a beautiful place to live and work. So don't miss out your opportunity. Contact information for Christy's company will be in the description as well. Put your comments, questions in the comment section, and I will catch you next week on the next topic. Next Wednesday, we are talking about rentals in the area, rentals in Asheville. We got a lot of inquiries about that, but unfortunately, Asheville is not like other places. We do things differently here, as well as, we're going to discuss a lot of scams that are going on in the rental market, in the rental industry, and how to avoid them, specifically here, what to look out for. So join us next week, next Wednesday. And until then, I hope everyone is having a great week, enjoying the spring weather, and have a good night. Bye.
Bye.